Welcome to the show. It feels good to be back. It was a little awkward at first. I haven't done this in a while, and it's not been that long, but I have grown. I have changed. I did learn a lot from this past season of the Randy Rex show. Um, and I've learned a lot since I have been on my break. So it's exciting to be back and to bring those two things together. The Randy Rex show is really a place for me to put everything that I love and everything that brings me joy uh, on a silver platter, front and center, spotlight, and that's basically it. This is not a political space. This space is for me to express all of the things that I love, like Survivor, Marvel, horror movies, Big Brother, The Traitors, The Real Housewives. All of these fun things to take away from a lot of the seriousness that is going on in the world and a lot of the things that we have to deal with as adults. I was listening to a podcaster. I was listening or reading something online on social media somewhere, something of the sort, and they were talking about how any sort of creative thing you do, any outlet you have, is a form of protest. And again, this isn't a political platform. I'm not going to go on a soapbox about one side or the other, but I find it very poignant and I need to say this. I kind of just fell into doing these videos, and it's just something that I do creatively. Like, so often I hear people like Rob or Taryn, and I think of all of the things that they do and all of the things that they've accomplished, and I think that that can never be me. I can never do that because I am so careless. Like, I say so much stupid shit, and there's no way that anyone would want to work with me in a professional sense to elevate these videos that I do. And that's fine. Like, whether or not that's true or not, or whether or not that's just an insecurity of mine, I still do the videos because I love them and because it is a space for me to rejoice in the things that bring me joy. So I say all of this to say that I really did, again, to reiterate, kind of just fall into doing these videos because it is something that I love to do. And given everything going on in the world and how me creating this aligns with this time, and I did start to see it as a form of protest, I just I could not describe. I can't. I'm at a loss for words to describe the kind of joy and the happiness that I felt and the kind of reward, just like that sense of oneness and like a wholeness, accomplishment. Um, Oftentimes in my life, I have just been so scared to speak, and I've felt so scared to sound stupid with what will come out of my mouth. And so I don't say anything, and I won't ask questions, and I won't follow up, and I will never know what that was. Um but that is not who I am anymore. I guess I shouldn't say it like I'm saying it because that's not who I am anymore. However, what I put out looks like, I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of myself, and I am so ready to get the ball rolling. Survivor 49, here we go. Everybody's talking about it. This premiere was a good premiere. It was entertaining. I really I didn't know who was going to get voted out. I thought that Annie would be the person to leave and Nicole would still be in the game. I did pick Nicole in my draft that I do with my family. So, right out of the gate, I am not making the best calls with this cast. This season, it really did just kind of follow the pattern of what Survivor has been for the past 9 years. I was listening to the Know It Alls, and you guys all know how much I love Rob and Steven and RHAP, but they talked about how Rob really didn't have anything specific to say to people when they asked him, like, hey, what's new with Survivor this year? Like, what can I expect to see? Again, the episode was fine. Not even fine. It was good. It was a good episode. It was great. I'm I'm ready to get to dive in and to become invested with these characters and these players and see what kind of moves they make, good and bad. Another thing he said was that apparently there is a quote out there, or Jeff did an interview where he said that this season is slow to start, but that at the end of the game, it's some of the best Survivor that you'll ever see. Something like that. Which again is fine for me. I kind of like that slow burn and the build up to what seems to be, or what is going to be, stupendous gameplay. But this season seems like it is gonna follow again that template of right out of season 40. That was when COVID hit, so they had that year break. They came back with 41. They had that like reassertion of where they were gonna really just change the game, and we have been on that pattern more or less since then. We still have the 3 tribes of 6. We have not veered from that at all. They still kind of have a little test for them at the beginning of the game, although it's not as wacky or kooky as it was when it first started in like 41 and 42. But we see they have that challenge to start. One of the tribes wins and they win their supplies for the camp, and then the other 2 tribes have a separate challenge where they have to try to earn their supplies. Survivor did and they do a really good job of showcasing the entire cast. This is a big cast, 18 people, and they did a good job of letting us hear from everyone. And, we might have heard a little bit more from certain people than others, but there wasn't that many people that kind of stuck out more so than others. If anyone that you could mention, maybe Jake. Jake is he's Canadian. He is a soon to be father. I'm sure that his child has been born since this, but at the time he was going to be missing the birth of his child. His father has glaucoma and is going to lose his vision. So him being out here on the island and taking part in the season is going to be one of the last things that his father gets to see. He had a big spotlight and showcase. Obviously, one of my winner picks, Nicole, had a pretty significant spotlight throughout the episode, considering that she was the one that went home. It really seemed like maybe she was going to be able to figure it out or like pull something out. I don't know what I was hoping. Like, she just had this look, and I'm thinking, maybe you can do it. Like, I don't know what it could be, but you're there, not me. And inevitably, she did get sent home. But I can't wait to talk about Survivor again. It was the season finale of The Real Housewives of Miami. And there was this whole thing this season where Adriana called Kiki ratchet. And there was a big reaction to that, given that Kiki is black. And it just seemingly being like a microaggression. So in this episode, Marisol comes forward and says that when Adriana told everyone she misspoke and she was trying to say wretched, but because of her accent, it came out as ratchet. You know, that was the miscommunication. That was like the missing link there. So, but here's Marisol telling us that that is not the truth. She came up with that excuse. She gave it to Adriana. And notice how all of a sudden I have a accent when I say their names. But so Adriana, of course, is like, oh, well, you know, she was just talking to me and she was just telling me this. I never told her to give me a reason to get out of this. I never told her I was going to use this reason that she was talking, this thing she was saying to me. It was a huge mess, and coming into the reunion, something big is supposed to happen. Something historical that has never happened at a reunion before. The Housewives have been around for nearly 20 years now, so to say that is a huge statement. So if they actually deliver on that, I will be very surprised. Not that I don't think they're capable of it. It's just that at this point, I don't know if it's just that I haven't heard any enough rumblings of what it could be. I don't know if it's just well hidden. I don't know if it's just a gimmick, like the whole thing with um, Adriana having a letter from someone that Marisol was abusing when it turned out to be Marisol's liver because she drinks so much. You know, it's so messy and I love it. And I don't there so now they're saying like Adriana, Gertie, and Julia are on the chopping block, which I love this cast. I don't think they should change anything, but I know how these housewife shows go. So if they did have to change it, which I know they do, I that's my thing. Like I think with all of these housewife shows, I think one thing that they always need to keep in mind or something that they should always do, and I think that they try to do it for the most part, is to always mix up the cast or at least rotate them more so. Like I don't think that they should be so seemingly so afraid to put a housewife on pause. I don't know, it's just so much because sometimes it will get stale. It will get forced. It will seem overproduced. It will get boring. There is just, you know, I always say there's an ebb and flow to these housewife shows. And even like Potomac and Salt Lake City are the best examples. So, coming up next month, Potomac is going to premiere their 10th season. When they premiered, you know, it was a pretty big show. It caught on. It definitely hooked people in to cement it and get it going further on beyond the first season. And then, really, from there, it just kept rising. It really, I think, culminated in season 5 with the fight with Monique and Candace. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to promote violence or, you know, women fighting or anything like that. But this is really the case. And then it wasn't until season 8 where it really got stale and people got bored and tired of it. So there's just an ebb and flow with these shows. And then even with Salt Lake City being newer than Potomac, I am just so curious about what is going to happen going into this season. The first episode really threw me off with their Blair Witch parody that they really incorporated into that episode. I'm hoping that we really are straying away from that. Like it seems like with episode 2, they kind of got into the normal beat and the normal pace of what we're used to as a housewife episode. Um, but I just love these women. I really love to see them. So, like, we've talked about Salt Lake City, we've talked a little bit about Potomac, Orange County, and we've talked about Miami. Orange County is airing right now. Beverly Hills is going to get ready to air. I know Atlanta is filming right now. Soon, New York and New Jersey will be back filming. That's amazing. I know that there's a new Housewives show in Rhode Island that just finished filming. That's 9 housewives right now. It's kind of crazy. But as much as that is, I want Dallas to come back, and I would love to have Dubai back, and I would love to have the Ultimate Girls trip back with the housewives going on all of these trips. Well, there you have it. Very first show back. As you may or may not be aware of, there's going to be a little bit more to the Randy Rex show coming up. I'm going to follow up on Big Brother, Survivor, and the Housewives. But of course, we're going to start our Stranger Things rewatch and get prepared for the final season in a couple of months. I know that's very sad to hear. I don't want it to end, but it has to. So, yeah. See you then.